Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in Gorilla Sports Off Ice Friday edition here. Busy day in the Gorilla Sports studios. So Megan and I are going to be bringing this episode to you guys from our home studios. Like I said, going to be joined by Megan here in just a minute. We're going to go over something that we actually probably should have talked about a little bit earlier in the week. Rule changes that are being implemented this season in the NHL. And then we thought, hey, look, it's Friday. Let's have some fun on a Friday. Megan and I are going to do a fantasy draft, and there's going to be a little bit of a wrinkle to it because it is just us, but also it's not just us. So there'll be a little bit of a wrinkle to it. We want to hear from you guys who you think ends up with the best fantasy roster after today's draft. We're on an actual time crunch with that. We have to go at 2:15. So let's get this show started. Want to start off by reminding you guys about our great friends over at RefiJet. Did you know that you could refinance your auto loan? Well, with RefiJet, you could save around $150 every month, all with just a soft credit pull and zero hassle. Lower payments, flexible terms, maybe even some cash back in your pocket from your car's equity. RefiJet does the work. You get the savings. Start today at RefiJet.com, the faster, easier way to refinance. Hello and welcome in.
Please do not leave your luggage unattended on the station.
Welcome to the show. Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome in. Jesse Montano and Meghan Angley here on a Friday afternoon. Temperature dropped a bit today, Megan. Kind of a cool, gloomy day. But I know these are the types of days that a lot of people enjoy. It's not too hot, not too cold. How you doing on this Friday? Where do you fall on your temperature for today?
I like it because I got my Excel energy bill and it's up by like 60%. So I can start opening windows and doors and cooling off my apartment without going crazy. So from a practical standpoint, I love it.
I love that approach, and it makes me worried that you're going to kick my ass in this fantasy draft later because I can just tell you're already coming at things with so much reason and structure for today. No, see, I'm a big open windows, open doors guy. I just like the fresh air.
Yeah.
Something me and my wife argue about in the warmer months because you are correct that can sometimes heat up your house a bit, but so no, it definitely is nice. Now just being into the windows open season, no doubt about it. Megan, we're gonna get into a fantasy draft a little bit later. That I think is gonna be a lot of fun. You were saying right before we started that you're nervous. You should be. No, I'm just kidding. So the fantasy draft, we have 22 minutes and 40 seconds before we've got to get on there. But Megan, it is just you and I, but we thought, among a couple of reasons, we'd make it a little bit more interesting and throw in a couple of auto draft teams in there so that you and I aren't just going back and forth, picking the 40 best players in the NHL. Those would be really fun teams. But we are going to have a couple of fantasy draft teams, auto draft teams in there as well, just to throw a little bit of a wrinkle into it and throw a wrench into what you and I are both planning. But so we will get to that in exactly 22 minutes from right now. But first, Megan, we did want to talk about just some things that are going on in the league right now. Obviously, it was well covered and reported. We talked about it at the beginning of the summer, the new CBA that gets agreed to that above everything else, Megan. Yes, rule changes, blah, 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 keeps the league from a lockout. Our generation has already lived through two of those, including one that cost an entire season. And there was a couple before that, before you and I were old enough to be involved in the league in the way that we are now. And so this has been a problem for the NHL. So the fact that they got a new CBA signed, get it over the finish line, really with no, problems, speed bumps, hiccups, anything like that. that was enough to be celebrated. But a lot of that stuff, everyone was under the impression, and mostly true, going into effect after next season. However, the NHL, the NHLPA got together and have fast-tracked a handful of these rule changes to go into effect right now. Just as a refresh, going back to the start of the summer when this new CBA got signed, was there anything that specifically jumped off the page to you of, hey, I'm anxious to see how this plays out. I like this change. I don't like this change, et cetera, or I wish they would have changed something that they didn't?
I think the contract term limits was interesting just because of how that could affect a future Cale Makar contract. And as far as maybe the immediate changes we're going to see rolled into this season, I'm curious to see how a team like the Avs that has utilized paper transactions, though I think compared to others, they've been pretty decent about how they've done it. They still have kind of leaned on paper transactions to maximize just the littlest bits of savings from AHL to NHL contracts with some of the fringe players. So I'm just curious to see how they navigate that then if we see longer stays, longer call-ups for players as a result of them just not moving with the back and forth going into it. And then, of course, the LTIR change. This is a loophole that has been leveraged by cup contending teams now the last couple of seasons, and it's been a difference maker pretty observably, you know? So I'm curious to see then now with every team on a level playing field needing to navigate this, if it does add a little bit more disparity in the league.
The two players that were picked for our thumbnail today were not picked for no reason. Nikita Kucherov and Mark Stone. Just quickly on, because I think it's a great call out of the way that the contract structures could potentially impact a player like Cale Makar. Players will have until September 15th of 2026 to sign deals with the current structure, term, signing bonus, variability, etc. All deals signed after September 16th, 2026 will be subject to the new CBA. And let's see, I believe Cale Makar is eligible for that extension as of July 1, 2026. My memory serves me right. Yep. So the Avs would be able to get in under that September 16th deadline. That would make it so that they could give Cale Makar that 8-year deal. I imagine they'll be pretty motivated to do so.
Yeah, I think that it's one of those things that's on our radar with a little bit of expectation to happen because of that, but also not too much pressure for us to need to see that immediately happen.
Yep, I'm with you. But it's a great call out by you. You have until September 16th to get players up to an 8-year deal. After that, it is dropping down. The max you can give a player is 7 years if they are currently with your team.
And that's of next year. So the Avs have plenty of time once Cale Makar is eligible to even be re-signed.
Yes, September 16th, 2026. Thank you, Megan. So yeah, not 11 days from now, a year and 11 days from now. But again, a handful of items being, like I said, fast-tracked is some of the verbiage that we've heard come out of the league here. And let's just go over these. The outlawing of deferred compensation in players' contracts. This will go into effect on October 7th. So look at what the Dallas Stars are doing with Jamie Benn, what the Colorado Avalanche are doing with a guy like Brent Burns, where you're getting him at a $1 million cap hit with incentives that are relatively easy to hit, meaning, hey, we're essentially borrowing off of next year's cap. Those types of deals will no longer be allowed as of October 7th. My favorite one, just from the thank you, let's have some fun standpoint, the relaxation of player dress codes will go into effect this season. Players will not be required to wear the standard suit, tie, et cetera, et cetera. The ability, this was one that I didn't realized I didn't remember seeing earlier in the season, or excuse me, earlier in the summer. The ability for players to endorse, quote, wine and spirits. So it's essentially just opening the door for more. I know it's really a term that we throw around with college athletics, but NIL type deals, name, image, likeness, allowing players to leverage those endorsement deals a little bit more broadly. They are prohibiting starting this season, and this is another one that I find really interesting because we've seen a lot of teams take advantage of this, Megan. It will be prohibited for the double salary retention in trades, meaning you get a third team involved. The first team retains 50%. The third team that got involved retains 50%. And then the team on the receiving end gets a player at 25% of their original salary. That is going away, especially around the trade deadline. You saw a lot of teams doing that. That will be going into effect this season as well. You will not be able to double retain. But the big one, Megan, and it's what you talked about there and what we'll probably spend the bulk of the next 10, 15 minutes talking about, is the LTIR rule. We have seen this, as you put it, utilized relatively effectively by multiple teams over the last handful of years. And the NHL is saying no more. We were wondering how they were going to close this loophole for folks who aren't familiar with it. What the loophole was if you had a player on long-term injured reserve and they didn't count against your salary cap, you could go out and use that money freely. However much money that player was making, they're not counting against your cap. Well, as soon as round one started of the Stanley Cup playoffs, salary caps went away, and you've had teams being able to bring players back into the fold. The Avs did it this past season with Gabe Landeskog. The Tampa Bay Lightning famously did it with Nikita Kucherov and won a Stanley Cup. The Vegas Golden Knights also infamously did it with Mark Stone, went on to win a Stanley Cup. The NHL is closing this loophole, Megan, by saying your on-ice roster must be cap compliant. You can carry as many players as you want, but the 20 guys you put on the ice must be cap compliant. Megan, for me, this definitely takes a little bit of the fun out of things, but I think ultimately the right move, and I actually like that they're getting it going this season. Why give teams one last crack at it if you know you're making this change?
Yeah, I think it's to give them time to adjust to the new normal, because I don't blame the teams who have utilized the LTIR loophole. It's good management. It's felt frustrating and like a cheat code at times, but it's been a loophole that any team could take advantage of if they so choose. So I think it is good, though, to give them a year to get adjusted to these changes so that it's just the new normal moving forward. But it'll be interesting. My biggest thing is, so long as everyone's operating off a level playing field, then it makes sense to me. It is interesting, too, on the heels of just everything that we knew with Landeskog, because the way this works is if there's a sense that a player may return or not. And with a player like Landeskog, there's just so much genuine uncertainty around whether or not that would happen. It's one of those things where he could miss almost the entirety of a season and still not be sure if he's making his comeback or not. But if the team, benefited from the LTIR relief and he just had to wait until the next season, even if he did feel ready. Anyways, I'm getting in the weeds for a problem we don't have to worry about. But it is interesting when you have players who are genuinely in a weird place with their injury and do not know if they will be able to make a return or not.
And I think, at least this is my perspective on it, would love your thoughts. Like, for me, the problem came with they're ready round one, game one. 1 week left in the regular season, just a couple games, and look who shed the non-contact shirt. The one that really, because this has happened more than just the last handful of years. The Blackhawks, I remember a lot of people brought it up during their kind of dynasty run, had a year with Patrick Kane where they did something similar. It's not that this hasn't been, a thing that teams have done, but I remember, I believe it was for the second Tampa Bay Cup, Nikita Kucherov was practicing for like a month with the left in the regular season. and shed the non-contact jersey with 2.5 weeks left in the regular season. But the official party line coming out of Tampa was, he's not quite ready. I'm still ramping. Oh, never mind. Game 1's here. He's good to go. And I feel like that was the one that really drew the attention. And Megan, like, to your point, I do wonder how it will impact teams who have a genuine injury and a guy who maybe, I think of Miro Heiskanen from the Dallas Stars this past season. That was a guy who was legitimately injured and couldn't return until into the second round. You are going to have teams who find themselves in those situations where, you're going to have to do some juggling. And again, the Dallas Stars were a team that were able to fit in Mikko Rantanen because they had Heiskanen on LTIR. So it's going to be interesting to see how it affects teams that actually need this loophole.
I find it interesting too. I don't know if it's very significant to most teams, but they'll still provide some relief with the cap average, like for the average salary of last year up to around 3.8 million. And so for like a Jacob McDonald type of player, I think you at least still do and are eligible to get some LTIR relief. It's just for the big name players where we were really seeing this utilized for players like Kucherov, Landeskog, Mark Stone, that obviously there's a little bit of a limit then to the LTIR relief that teams can get. And I think that's interesting, but still necessary to not punish teams who might genuinely be dealing with some injuries out the gate.
Yeah, it's like I said, I think addressing it in this way is the right way to do it. Where your lineup has to be compliant. Because really, again, and I'm not trying to, nothing's sour grapes or anything like that, but like it was a near $100 million team the second year that Tampa won because of what they were able to do with the LTIR stuff and Nikita Kucherov and all that. So like, I do think it's good that you are removing the loophole, but also to your point, leaving enough in there for the teams that genuinely need this, this system that it's not just completely going away. They're not doing away with LTIR.
I think it'll be interesting to see how this impacts Florida with Matthew Tkachuk expected to miss some decent time at the start of the year, and players like Evan Rodriguez, a player that they'd like to keep on, and they do need to do even more cap maneuvering, even with the 3.8 relief that they could get with the expectation that Tkachuk will return. I'm still curious to see what Florida will do with Evan Rodriguez.
Interesting point, because they can get the season started, but they can't put that team in the playoffs. So yeah, it'll be interesting what it is we see him do. Megan, of the other ones that are moving on a little bit more quickly, I like the double salary retention. It did feel like, at a certain point, it's like, what are we doing here? We're just whittling these salaries down. 3 different teams are paying this guy. I like that. And then, like I said, I do, for myself personally, I like the dress code stuff. I think maybe folks are going to be a little disappointed by this. Isn't going to be like the NBA where guys are showing up making fashion statements every night. I think it's going to be pretty muted. But I just like, hey, let guys wear what they want to wear. And then, like I said, I do like the double salary retention. I think it just makes things a little bit cleaner.
I like this isn't one going into effect this year, I don't believe, but the CHL exception that will be coming when all of the new changes are brought into place, with allowing a 19-year-old in the American League finally. I'll be curious to see how the young players embrace the neck protection that will be required going into next season. And then part of those sponsorship restrictions you talked about, or I guess freedoms that were being allowed, there's still some restrictions to any endorsements involving tobacco, cannabis, including CBD products. And I think that's really interesting because we draw the line at CBD, even though a lot of players use it for recovery, but the sports betting is fine for us to promote.
Sports betting, drinking, but CBD, that's where we, as the NHL, draw the line. So, all right, we've only got 6 minutes here before we have to start our draft. I got two things here. based on what you just talked about. One, I find it really interesting, and honestly, maybe even it's its own pod topic, and we could try to get someone in. The CHL is going through a little bit of a crisis right now for rules that I think a lot of the hockey world are celebrating because it's going to lead to a better overall product and development track for players. Has the impact have a real negative impact on the league, the CHL from a business standpoint, Megan? Players can now transfer out of there and go play in the NCAA, and the top players in the league are going to soon be eligible at 19 years old to play in the American Hockey League. Do you have a couple quick thoughts just on the potential future of the CHL?
Well, I have concerns for major junior and then the tiers below it, the lower level of junior that players like Cale Makar utilized in kind of taking the patient path through hockey. And I think it's going to affect the CHL in the immediate, but I think that it's going to eventually stabilize. But I am curious too, the rung just below it then in terms of junior teams that have been very viable development paths for players, how those might be impacted. But the short answer I have is something that David Carl told me when I talked to him about some of the changes and how they're affecting the college landscape in kind of a positive way, right? With so many players leaving CHL teams to join college programs, he basically said it will force every development program to look in the mirror and be better and try to separate themselves as what it is about their program that stands out from the rest, to be a destination, because this also has implications for the USHL too down the line, right? Like, there's so many development leagues that this will impact in some way, and I think it'll be shaken hard in the immediate. But in the same way that the changes with the PWHL were shocking and losing so many job opportunities at once for women's hockey players, I think it created a more stable foundation that will lead to better opportunities down the line. I think this will lead to better opportunities down the line for players who have more paths open to them. It gets a bit more competitive, but I think that will also open doors behind them for other players as well.
Well, and I love the shout out of the lower leagues. Circle back to that in just a second. But like you said, I think you hope that this is something that causes teams, programs, or whatever to embrace that, and maybe, and I'm just spitballing here, more closely align themselves with NCAA programs and, show players, hey, look at this track record we have of getting players from this level to that level, to the NHL, to, whatever. I think that's a great thought there from Carl. And then I love your shout out of the lower leagues. If the CHL is worrying like this, I can't even imagine what's going on at some of those other leagues, that are at lower levels of development, for major junior, and junior B and stuff like that. The CHL is feeling it. That is going to have a ripple effect on major junior hockey, no doubt. And then you brought it up. I hate the net guard thing. I really do. I hate it. I think if you go watch the AHL, those players have stretched them out, modified them. You can't even tell that they're wearing them. It's performative to me for the league to put it in place when they know that players aren't going to use them properly, and it's not going to make any difference.
I think they look like distinguished, handsome gentlemen, and if a little bit more of their neck is protected, the mom in me says that's fine. They'll get used to it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I do think having the younger kids start wearing them, because I know it's required at a lot of lower youth levels in Canada, but I just think, like I said, I saw it in practice last year, like in use in the AHL, and I said, yeah, there is one net guard out there that's being used effectively. Everyone else just has it to check the box of the league rule, and I think that he does.
It froze, so I missed what you said.
Oh, I'm sorry. Vaguely's in the chat saying that Kivy wears a neck guard. I don't think he does.
I feel like I have seen him in one though. But
a bunch tried it last year. None of them. Oh, there you go.
I was checking my Wi-Fi because it's getting a little weird.
And we only have a minute till the draft starts, Megan.
The other thing I was going to say that Carl told me that I thought was interesting was how the program intentionally targets players that can come in as freshmen. And he didn't say this part, but also stay with the program for a little bit of time. And so with respect to things like the transfer portal, they're not necessarily looking to bring in juniors from other programs because they specifically recruited players at a young age with a lot of reasons for their fit to come in and spend some time in the program. So I think it's interesting too, is there are probably established programs that will still covet their own development process, their own scouting or recruitment process, and even with tools like transfer portal and more players eligible to come from the CHL, which DU has utilized. Like almost 80% of their incoming freshman class has played in the CHL a little bit. So they're definitely taking advantage of it, but they're coming in as freshmen. I don't think it's going to be this every team is clamoring for best available players. In this kind of crazy way where there's just no stability, there's no continuity year after year.
Yeah. And woo! My computer's making all kinds of noises suddenly for this draft.
Oh my gosh, it started. Oh,
And did you already pick? Are you going? Are we going?
Yes.
All right. Okay, and then I want to find the right way.
I'm scared.
Okay. Yeah, I want to do that right there.
Okay, Hannah took Nathan McKinnon.
Yeah. Okay, here, let me do this.
Perfect. Was that you? Like, did you pick Nathan or did it auto?
No, I have the other two set to auto draft.
Okay, cool.
Okay, and we're going to do this right here. Oh, okay. All right. I see the problem.
I wanted to name my team the Rosy Cheek Assassins, but there was no guarantee that I'd get Kale. And how embarrassing would that be to be named the Rosy Cheek Assassins without Kale McCarr?
Okay. All right. I don't know fully here. On the clock. All right. Sorry, we had to set this up a little bit jankily. Oh, I know what's wrong. All right. Here we go. All right. So now. All right. There we go. Okay. All right. So what do we got here? What do we have? Did you take Kale?
I did.
Okay. Like you said, you got to make sure that you get out ahead of that. Make sure that you can.
All right. All right.
Oh, all right. Right back to me immediately. I forgot this was a snake draft.
Ah.
All right. Well, it seems silly to not take Leon Draisaitl if I just took Connor McDavid, right?
I wanted him. That's fine.
I would like. Oh, okay. All right. Right over here on the right is where you can see where all the picks are going. Okay.
Wow. This happened very quickly.
This happened quick. Can you hear that every time it happens? Can you hear it through my mic?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's okay. It's the only other sound. It's kind of fun.
All right. So let's see what we got here. Ooh, I like the pick of Hate. Oh man, you have a sick team so far. I'm getting a little nervous.
I'm getting nervous.
All right. I'm just going full team, score a bunch of points.
Ooh, okay. I had him queued. That's a good pick.
Did you see? I just saw Kirill Kaprizov's name come up here. Did you see that Elliot Friedman said that he thinks it could be upwards of $16 million a season for Kirill Kaprizov? That seems crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. And I've gotten the sense too, like, oh, we're waiting for him to come back. You know, we think maybe some things have gotten like lost in translation, if you will. So we're waiting for him to get back to the organization, get back to Minnesota.
Right.
So I'm curious, like, what has he been saying to you? Like, I would like 18 million. No Kaprizov. We can't do that, Kirill.
I should probably go get headphones, huh? That would be like the professional podcast thing to do. Okay. Let's take a quick little poll here. We're moving quick if you guys can't tell.
I'm scared. Okay.
I know, I'm scared too.
Why am I scared?
Well, so all right. So Megan, why don't you run through your team so far through what do you got? 4 picks in?
Yes. I've got Sasha Barkov, Tage Thompson, Kale McCarr, Miro Heiskanen, and Andrei Vasilevsky.
That's a pretty fun team. We've got one of our auto draft teams. What is going on? Ooh, what's happening here? Okay. All right. Okay, this is going a little bit chaotically here. I'm sitting with McDavid, Draisaitl, Kucherov. And then I've also got Ottinger as well. And I've got 2 picks in a row here. And I'm going to go with the guy that Dallas is hoping pops off this year again, Mikko Rantanen, taking him. And then I'm going to go with Sergei Bobrovsky and just round out what's happening here in net.
All right. Ooh.
And with that, Megan, I'm going to go get some headphones and spare everyone. While I do love it, this is just too small of a draft to have it going off that often. So I've got, you're on the clock here.
Wow, I don't really know what's happening. Okay.
I'm going to run and grab some headphones so that I can talk through this better because I'm so unbelievably distracted by this da-na-na. So give me 1 second.
Okay.
Oh, and I'm on the clock. I have 74 seconds to pull this off.
Perfect. That's good. That's fun.
And I didn't even unmute when I was saying all that. I was saying, all right, now we can do it for real. I didn't have a single defenseman, so I took Sid.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh, I'm back on the clock again. Yeah, it's Friday. We're just having some fun here. We put together a little 4-team fantasy league. We got a couple teams that are auto drafting here. And since it's 4 teams, everybody's going to come out doing pretty well here. I'm on the clock right now. I've got McDavid, Draisaitl, Kucherov, Rantanen, Crosby, Ottinger, and Bob. Need to start focusing on the back end here. One of our auto draft teams who got the first overall pick has McKinnon, Pasternak, Tkachuk, Willie Nylander, Artemi Panarin, Kirill Kaprizov, and Igor Shesterkin. Let's see. I'm gonna make a pick before this tells me to eat shit and kicks me out. You know what I'm gonna do, Megan? I'm going Rasmus Dahlin. Big year for Rasmus.
I love it. I'm taking Jacob Slavin.
Jacob Slavin, I wish there were more defensive heavy categories because that's such a good pick.
Oh, I'm
All
on the
right.
clock. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, you're on the clock.
I have, my special little guys. Okay. This isn't one of my special little guys, but I'm taking him. Sam Bennett for the audio listeners. My
Sam
team
Bennett.
is named Meghan's Angels. What a missed opportunity for Angley's Angels.
Yeah, you know what? I won't beat you up over it, but at least we all know it was a missed opportunity. Want to run through your roster real fast while I'm on the clock here?
Sure thing. We got Barkov, Tage Thompson, Clayton Keller, Sam Bennett, Cale Makar, Miro Heiskanen, Victor Hedman, Jacob Slavin, and Andrei Vasilevsky.
I like it. I like it. Let's see here. I had a defenseman. Again, this is more a pick. Because I think it makes sense with the guys that I've already got here. I'm going to take Evan Bouchard, Megan.
Okay.
I've got McDavid and Draisaitl. That just seems... Everyone knows how I feel about Evan Bouchard. That just seemed too easy. That seemed like too much of a layup.
Okay. It's your team.
And then I'm betting on the upside. I'm taking Marty Netchis.
Oh, I like that. Okay, I think I need some more offense.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. All right, this is the screen that I was looking for.
Some of these guys, I want them to be better.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in you. Okay, good. I still have a minute. I panicked.
Yep. Megan's picks by round while she's thinking. Cale Makar in the first, Andrei Vasilevsky in the second, Miro Heiskanen in the third, Alexander Barkov in the fourth, Tage Thompson in the fifth, Victor Hedman sixth, then Clayton Keller, Jacob Slavin, Sam Bennett, and she just took Anthony Cirelli.
All right, I'm betting big on Val.
Ooh! I love that pick, Megan. I love that pick for you. I think he's going to have a good year.
I hope so.
Big year for
really,
Val.
really nervous about Megan's Angels at the moment. They really need to be Angels.
Let's go here with Zach Werenski.
Oh. Have any of us drafted Quinn Hughes? Yikes.
Someone had to have.
No.
Shut up.
No. This is insulting.
Really? Wow. All right, I'll take Quinn Hughes. Great call out, Megan.
Well, and I have enough lefties. I can't. Right?
D. No, I think it's just D. I don't think it matters left or right.
Oh, I think it matters. We have to be cap compliant.
Oh man. Okay, so here's the last few rounds of picks. These auto draft teams, as always, Megan, we're gonna end up coming in third and fourth. McKinnon, Pasternak, Tkachuk, Nylander, Panarin, Kaprizov, Shesterkin, Ovechkin, Caulfield, Dustin Wolf. Ooh, the auto draft got Dustin Wolf from you. Steven Stamkos. The other auto draft has Austin Matthews, Connor Hellebuyck, Brady Tkachuk, Philip Forsberg, Macklin Celebrini, Kyle Connor, Philip Gustafson, Jack Hughes, Roman Josi, Jack Eichel, Jake Gensel, Mackenzie Weegar.
Oh my gosh. I need to pay attention. Okay.
You know what's interesting here? And again, this is more of a conversation than it is anything with fantasy. This system auto drafted Macklin Celebrini in the 5th round. 4 teams. So right around pick 20, Connor Bedard's still on the board, Megan.
Yikes. Yikes. All right. How many? Yeah, fine. Here we go.
Ooh, Nico Hischier. Okay. Nice Nico Hischier pick for Megan. Well, now I feel like I got to do a more thorough search of who all is left up here. My confidence is shaken at who they've got listed near the top. Contract year. Let's go Jason Robertson.
I really wanted to pick Robertson, and I didn't want to say it out loud because I was like, well, then he'll definitely get picked.
Damn, sorry.
No, it's okay because I can't tell if I believe in him. I want to believe in him so badly.
Yep. I'm so with you. Here's another guy I want to believe in, and once he hears that I took him on our 4-team fantasy league, he is going to be heavily inspired, and that's the newest resident of Las Vegas, Nevada, Mitch Marner.
Aww, Mitchell. I am on the clock. I need. See, I'm really.
There's 2 auto draft teams. Between the 2 of them, we are in the 14th round here. Between both auto draft teams, they have taken 2 defensemen. I love it. Moritz Seider's still out there. Sam Reinhart still out there. Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Sam Reinhart not still out there. Megan, you're back on the clock. Yes. Scheifele still out there. Trocheck, Suzuki, Elias Pettersson. It's going to be an interesting year for Elias Pettersson, Megan. That was a disappointing year for him last year. And there was a lot that went wrong in Vancouver, but Cale Makar's draft year was like largely considered to be in that conversation with Cale for who is the best player coming out of that draft. And boy, oh boy, is it very much not Elias Pettersson anymore.
You know, yeah, there's just some players that it's the game between the ears that I'm not convinced of some of the time. Like there's tremendous inherent skill, and I think Elias Pettersson is one of them. But I'm just not sure if that gritty competitor aspect that I think players like McKinnon have in them is always present for some of these extremely gifted players. Man, I wasn't really looking at chat until now, and is Wyatt Johnston still out there?
I saw his name a second ago.
He is.
And
I was thinking I really do like Thomas Harley, but not enough to.
Yeah. And I'm actually also going to take a cue from the chat here. Shout out to Vaguely, bringing Lane Hudson to the forefront of my brain.
You're getting some points.
I'm getting some what?
You're getting some points.
Some points. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So whenever I don't I don't gamble. I don't bet on hockey a lot. When I do, I'm mostly just team everyone score goals. Yeah, wow, Wyatt Johnston's still out there.
And so we have extra players? What's the...
Yep, so you have bench players and then a utility player.
Oh my gosh, I feel silly. I've been like, okay, I can't get any more lefty-handed defensemen. I need a right... Oh my gosh. I see, you guys... This is why I don't do fantasy. Okay.
To be fair, I said a minute ago, I said, I don't think it matters left or right. And you said, oh, but doesn't it though?
It does to me. It does to me. Okay.
And that's why we love you so much, Megan.
Then I'm taking Wyatt Johnston. Maybe I can still Look at all these special little guys. Oh wow, it's my turn again.
Yeah, four team draft goes quick. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, I guess Gabe Landeskog being that far down does make sense.
Yeah, I guess a little bit of an unknown.
But I like the pick. And then Nazem Kadri off the board as well in the 17th round. And you know, Megan, I'm going to make a pick here based on what I saw with my eyes today. I'm taking
Eric
Brock
Johnson.
Nelson. Oh, Eric Johnson. That would have been a great one. I'm taking Brock Nelson. Him and Nathan McKinnon were really chatty. They actually, like, Brock was getting a lot of laughs out of Nate. And like we've talked so much this summer about Brock Nelson and what we think he can do now with a full season. And I'm buying. I am buying.
I'm so glad. I think that Brock Nelson has taken way too much heat. It has not been fair to him.
I am so with you on that.
I was on the clock. Panic.
No, it me. Gosh, and see, you know, Megan, this is actually, I think, with the amount of like teams that we have in this little fake league that we're doing, this is actually where I think it gets really fun, because it's like, all right, do the Rangers bounce back, and does Mika Zibanejad have a good year?
Right.
Does Logan Cooley take a step? Do the Blackhawks not suck enough that someone can give Connor Bedard some help?
See, and that's what's sad is I really individually believe in Connor Bedard, but I'm just not sure there's enough support.
I'm worried about the situation he's in, Megan.
But see, if he's on your team.
You're so right.
But now, if this is like real fantasy, though, he's still Connor Bedard on the Chicago Blackhawks. Oh, I hate this. It's breaking my brain.
I went with a pick
interesting
that I didn't even list. I went with Tomas Hertl.
Okay.
I got within the last 10 seconds and it started counting down on me and I panicked.
I'm scared too.
Oh, classic. And you searched that one out. You had that queued up.
Oh, I did.
Troy Terry to Megan's Angels.
Now we're talking. Now they're Angels. Oh, gotta get Logan O'Connor.
Yeah, you know what? I'll leave him out there for you. I won't even go take him out of spite.
You can. All right.
For all the shit talking I did about Connor Bedard, I'll take him.
Oh, I really want to believe in him.
I do too. I'd like for him to be good. But also, isn't it one of those things too where it's like, yeah, the Blackhawks can have a 1 overall that turns out to be a little bit of a bust. That's fine with everybody.
All right, let's see. Ooh.
How about that? Adam Fox in the 20th round.
Ooh.
All right, 2 more picks each here, and then we're going to unpack these rosters, and that will be the bulk of what we're talking about here. Here for the rest of the way.
I am having so much fun.
So, all right, I'm on the clock here. I got 80 seconds to just run you through some of this. We are in the 21st round. We each have 2 picks, or excuse me, I have 2 picks left to make. Everyone else has 1. The likes of Vincent Trocheck, Brendan Hagel, Adam Fantilli, Seth Jarvis, Mika Zibanejad, Alex DeBrincat, Logan Cooley, who I really like, Robert Thomas, Bo Horvat, Eric Carlson, Matvey Michkov, Timo Meyer. Still some big names out there is the point that I'm trying to make. Megan, how much do you believe in Adam Fantilli?
Okay, no, I'm glad you're going into the Columbus side of things. I believe in him a lot.
Then I'm going to take him.
No, I love it. You saw me just go grab Ken Johnson I was kind of torn between the two.
Yeah. Yep. And then I believe Stützle did get plucked. So I thought maybe about him. You know what? Let's finish. I'll make my last pick. We'll go with a homer pick here. I'm gonna go on Devon Tate.
Ooh, that's really good. I'm gonna go a really different direction and get Thomas Harley.
I love it. All right. So here's all right, let's
Aww.
go.
Look at these beautiful angels. It pops up on my screen.
Yeah, you saw their faces.
Yes.
All right. Well, so let's run through this here because I've got them all pulled up. So we'll start with my beautiful wife's auto draft team here.
She clicked for Jackson Lacombe, and I was like, you know what? Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
She got the 1 overall, took Nathan McKinnon, then went David Pastrnak, Matthew Tkachuk, Willie Nylander, Artemi Panarin, Kirill Kaprizov, Alex Ovechkin, Cole Caulfield, Steven Stamkos. Then the auto draft defense, Moritz Seider, John Carlson, Jacob Lacombe, Josh Morrissey, Brandon Montour, Kevin Marchenko, Kirill Marchenko, Kevin. As soon as I saw Kirill, I was like, yeah, I knew that. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what. In net, Igor Shesterkin, Dustin Wolf, Aiden Hill on the bench. And then Tim Stützle, Adrian Kempe, Elias Pettersson, and then, Matt Coronado. It's not bad for an auto draft team. The other auto draft team here, you got Austin Matthews, Brady Tkachuk, Philip Forsberg, Macklin Celebrini, Kyle Connor, Jack Hughes, Jack Eichel, Jake Gensel, Braden Point on defense, Roman Josi, Mackenzie Weegar, Jake Sanderson, Mikhail Sergachev, Eric Carlson. You got JT Miller in that utility spot, Connor Hellbuck, Philip Gustafson, Darcy Kemper, John Tavares, Nazem Kadri, Matt Boldy, and Dylan Gunther. Megan, do you want to run through your team?
Sure do. Here's the lineup of Angels. We've got Kale McCarr, Andrei Vasilevsky, Miro Heiskanen, Sasha Barkov, Tage Thompson, Victor Hedman, Clayton Keller, Jacob Slavin, Sam Bennett, Anthony Cirelli, Val Nichushkin, Arturi Lehkonen, Nico Hischier, Sam Reinhart, Mackenzie Blackwood, Wyatt Johnston, Gabriel Landeskog, Chris Tanev, Troy Terry, Kent Johnson, Mark Scheifele, and Thomas Harley.
Yeah, like you said, short on Angels, definitely. But I love it.
I actually want to see in the end who picked the most abs, because I think it might be me.
It might be. I know I've got a few. All right, and then my team was Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Nikita Kucherov, Mikko Rantanen, Sidney Crosby, Marty Netchus, Jason Robertson, Mitch Marner, Nick Suzuki, Rasmus Dahlin, Evan Bouchard, Zach Werenski, Quinn Hughes, Lane Hudson, Brock Nelson, Tomas Hertl, Connor Bedard, Adam Fox, Adam Fantilli, Devon Taves. I got 3. How many do you have? 3 abs.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. All right. And then, wow, only 1 between both auto draft teams. So 9 abs players taken in total in the draft, and only 1 from the auto draft teams. We got to them too quickly.
That's kind of fun then, because, these auto drafts are kind of a projection based on last year's regular season scoring in a lot of ways. And I think you could tell off the top that a lot of the scoring came from the top from the abs last year for most of the season. I think they addressed things after the deadline and we didn't really get to see it fully realized. And so All I'm saying is the ESPN auto draft is sleeping on the Avs, but we are not.
We are not. And these teams are ridiculous. I actually did this, Megan. Geez, it was probably like 15 years ago. Me and a group of my friends, there was 4 of us, and we did a fantasy league with 4 of us. And it's honestly a ton of fun because the teams are so good. It's just a ton of points every night. So it's a ton of fun. We are going to put these in and we'll make this gorilla team Chloe's team or something like that. We are going to put this out. We want to have you guys vote on who you think ended up with the best roster. And then Megan, I actually do think it would be fun for us to check back in on this periodically throughout the season.
Yeah, we should actually play it through a little.
Right, just to see how the teams are doing. We'll maybe mess with some of the league settings here so that it's a little bit easier for us to stay on top of. But there you go. We'll have a graphic that goes out here a little bit later with what the teams are. But good call, Megan. That was fun.
That was fun.
And
building a hockey team is easy. I don't know what these GMs are complaining about.
Why are they always going on and making bad moves? We just built 4 really good teams. It's not that hard. But no, great call. I've done these before with a bunch of people, and the first 2-3 rounds are a ton of fun. But then you start getting like late into the into the draft, and it moves slow and it takes forever and it's kind of lame. I like that was fast enough that it was probably hard for anybody to keep up with.
Yes.
Because it moved so fast.
No, it's true. And I'm glad we did it with the other 2 teams, because I think if it was us just picking back and forth, these are already still really ridiculous. Like, I almost think we need to have, we need to get Chloe in on this for the future and get it more competitive.
Although I will say, I do think if it was just you and I going back and forth, this would probably still be going for another 30 minutes and it would probably get pretty contentious.
No, it's true. And what's tricky too is, like, in my brain, we were going to be building out the depth of our rosters, because I really was imagining this wrong in my head. I don't understand fantasy, you guys. Like, I need lines 1 through 4, so I need my kind of blue collar depth guys. Absolutely not. You don't even get to that in how this works. Like, you're just picking the sickest hockey players around.
So, you know what we can do? Because one of the things that we were considering doing was using the Puckpedia roster building tool. And truthfully, there was some of this that we had to pivot because we had to suddenly go from home today instead of being in studio. We can get back in studio next week and go through that Puckpedia roster builder a little bit more cleanly, maybe, and park a show to, build your best lineup. And we could even maybe keep it cap compliant type thing.
That would be fun.
Yeah, so we can do something like that in studio next week. In addition to us having stuff going on in the studio, today there's some changes coming visually to the studio. Nothing crazy, but just
water slide.
Yeah, Megan, don't give it away. Oh my gosh. The set is just being replaced with a water slide. So pods are going to be wet and wild. No, but just some visual changes coming to the set. So it'll look marginally different when you guys see us in there next week. But we're excited. There's a lot of really fun, exciting stuff coming to, Guerrilla Sports right now. We just launched the Tom Green show, the other Tom Green show, yesterday. He had Ron Zappolo on. It was a ton of fun. Just really cool to be, in the studio with a couple of guys like that. Gosh, Megan, we're on TV. They were telling stories about stuff that I was like, yeah, you're talking 10 years before I was even born. So it's just really cool to hear some of the Denver sports history. I know for you, like, they were telling some stories like 30, 40 years before you were born, Megan, and damn, that one went right over your head.
Sorry, I was looking at our Pacific Division rankings. I forgot how high you had Anaheim, and my brain was so distracted.
It's a distracting ranking. No, I said that they were telling stories from 30 or 40 years before you were born.
Ugh.
On the
Like when you were
podcast.
talking about the lockouts earlier, I really was only alive for one of them.
I don't even know. But no, it was great. He's got Vern Lundquist coming in next week. We've also got the CJ and Al show starting as they're helping to level up our Buffs content. So we've got some exciting stuff coming, and there might still be another announcement or two coming here in the next couple of weeks. But Megan, I went back to the rink today. It was just great. I was only there for about 30 minutes. It was just great to kind of see the guys out there, and smaller group than I think has been out there before. But like, we've got probably another week of this, and we've got some stuff at work to get sorted out and all that stuff. But we're getting close, Megan. We are getting close to being back in it.
The rookie tournament, it's next week,
Mm-hmm.
That's real. That's hockey. It's back. We'll talk prospects. So we'll have some rookie tournament preview stuff going into next week. This is kind of the last of the silliness. Well, actually, we'll always be silly, but
right.
The last required silliness.
Yeah, the last like filler pod. We've also got a couple. I heard back from one of our prospective guests about coming on here in the next couple of weeks. We've got a couple. So I was reading to make sure I wasn't lying with what I was saying there. Yeah, but we've got a few folks that we're going to try to get on here in the lead up to the season. So I'm just excited. We've talked about it, Megan. I was listening to 32 Thoughts, had a new episode today. That's another way we're getting back close to the start of the season is the seasonal pods that go away in the off season are all firing back up. And, Elliot was talking on there about how he feels ready. He feels energized to get the season going. Truthfully, we've talked about it a couple of times. The last couple of off seasons, Megan, I felt have gone really, really quick. Season ended, then it just felt like we were right back into things. This offseason has dragged on. I am ready to get going again. I'm ready to be back at the rink. I'm feeling excited for the season to get going. Where are you at?
I love Vaguely Sober's idea of a preseason pyramid. So I have been, you guys, I'm unwell being away from hockey for this long. So I've been ready since well before yesterday. Like, it's time. It's just such a fundamental part of my life. I don't want my whole identity to revolve around it, but it's very important to me. So it's very important for everyone else in my life that I get back in a rink.
Yeah, my wife is probably ready for me to not be around so often in the evening. But yeah, no, like I said, it's normally need a nice break, get ready, reset, and all that stuff. And like I said, the last couple of years have been, haven't felt ready, but I am more than ready this year. So really excited to get everything going. But like you said, this was the last, not that I want to call this a filler pod. That was rich content there, Megan.
Yeah.
But no more filler pods are going to be required once we get to next week. We are officially in, preview. I do want to make sure to mention no show on Monday. Megan and I will be out at the Dog Nation Golf Tournament, which should be a ton of fun. We'll have content coming to you guys from that. It is sold out. So normally I would say like, get online, get registered, blah, blah. It's sold out. And we're really excited, especially after having Marty on last week, Megan. It was an honor to have Marty on and to have him telling some of those stories. I've gotten some very emotional feedback from some folks, but having him on and talking to just made me more excited to get out to the tournament on Monday.
I love it. I got some feedback too, which was really sweet.
It was just great. But I got a text from Vaguely here. I don't know if this is something that I can. Oh God. Sent me a thing that said R.I.P. LTIR.
Ooh, we could have a funeral.
We could have a funeral for it. Dang, that's all right. If we need another filler show for next week, LTIR funeral incoming. But no, so no show Monday. We'll be back at it Tuesday, Friday next week, and then we will have content coming out on Monday. Just the golf tournament overlaps exactly with when we're supposed to be on. But so I'll tell you guys what. Starting after next week, you're going to be hearing way more from Meghan and I than even you already have this summer. So take Monday as a bit of a gift because you're about to hear from us a lot. So we'll give you Monday off. How about that? Meghan, any final thoughts before we get out of here today?
No.
That's going to do it, folks. She's Meghan Angley. I'm Jesse Montano. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy your weekend. Hockey is officially right around the corner. We'll be back at it next week talking with you guys. Have a great weekend. Take it easy. Bye.